How's it going, guys? It's Ricky with TechBot Solutions. So thank you guys again so much for joining us for another recap on today's trading. Again, this is day 2 for the $1,000 to $20,000 challenge. If you guys don't know what that is, we do have a video elaborating a little bit more on that specific topic. It's a challenge that I created in a sense for our members within TechBot Solutions to stay a little bit more on track with their trades and to hit their goals. We created a whole Excel sheet so you guys can track your gains and make sure that you guys stay on track. And we have a specific video talking about where that how to use that Excel sheet and where to find that Excel sheet. And again, that is through our Facebook platform. If you guys are not part of TechBot Solutions already, the link is provided for you down in the description. We're sitting a little bit over 12,300 members worldwide, and it's an amazing networking group for both experienced and new members. And the best thing that we do is share best practices and share mistakes in effort to promote growth. So I do want to thank you guys again. I hope you guys are starting, this week off on a good note, right? Today's day 2, so it is Tuesday. I do have bad news. So officially, if you guys saw yesterday's recap on day 2, I was still restricted because of me removing the money I had on my Robinhood account, and then I got restricted as a day trader. They said they removed it. They removed the restriction like after hours, which played no benefit to me as a day trader. Therefore, in the morning, I went back in hoping that I could day trade. And again, I was restricted. I got really upset, tried to get on the phone with them. And again, I was on the phone. I was trying to get on the phone with them for about 3 hours. No response. Again, I don't want to spend much time talking about this. Overall, they sent me an email telling me that they lifted the restriction. So hopefully tomorrow, all those day trades will be removed, and I can get back into day trading. I did end up day trading with my Fidelity account, and I didn't do very well compared to what the $1,000 challenge would have brought. I brought in a little bit over $90 worth of profit, including my loss with DRYS. But overall, it was just not the profit that I was looking for. And I felt like I was really just chasing stocks at that moment because I was so upset with everything that was going on. And I definitely don't want this to be a frustrating challenge or frustrating, in a sense, set of weeks or a year, right, for me to meet that goal of the $1,000. So pretty much what I want to make sure that I focus on is the quality. The whole point of this $1,000 challenge is for me to talk about, how I overcome certain obstacles one day trading with only $1,000 and how I'm going to convert that and grow that to $20,000. So in a sense, my following with TechBot Solutions and my members can learn from my best practices, and I can learn from yours as well, an effort for all of us to promote growth. And if you guys could see or have seen the amount that we need to hit with the 3-day trades that we have per week, right, within a 5-day period, we really just need to hit 2.33% growth on average per day for 3 days out of the week, which isn't very unrealistic, especially with the amount of profit that we've been able to bring in. I don't want to say that I got upset, but again, like many of you, because of different stocks that we missed out on. If you guys saw my alert during the pre-market movers group chat for Snapchat, I alerted you guys when it was at 1970. Ended up hitting highs of 2089, and I actually sold right at 20, and it ended up, nearly hitting 90 cents more. And I get that that is a frustrating, in a sense, just realization that, man, I missed out on like 90 cents. You can't really think about it that way because, the place that you're buying and the place that you're selling should be things that you should decide to, should have, set before you actually jump into a stock. So although, you do end up missing out on a couple cents or a couple margins of profit in the long run, in reality, I want to make sure that you guys focus on the 2.33% per day or whatever, growth per day that you guys are reaching for, or in a sense, what your goal is, right? So what I mean by that is don't overwhelm yourself and don't just kick yourself in the foot just because of you missing out on a little bit more profit than you could have made, because, it could have taken a dip at that price point that you would have sold. And then with that, you would have lost more money if you didn't sell than if you would have held, right? So you never truly know what's going on. Profit than you could have made. Man, I just clicked on my video. So you never truly know what can actually happen, right? And that's one of the biggest things that you need to learn from trading. It's about, having a plan, setting up your rules and not breaking them, and being consistent and being persistent when it comes to these different things of trading. It is really what's going to lead to success. And although I didn't lock in, I believe it was 4 to 5% profit that Snapchat saw today. I I locked in, I think it was like 1%, and that was with my Robinhood account, which isn't necessarily horrible compared to the goal that I have to hit the $20,000 challenge. I have to make 1.13% more today to stay on track, which I'm sure I can do within the days that follow, since my Snapchat trade wasn't, in a sense, an overnight hold. I mean, it wasn't a day trade, it was an overnight hold. Now I'm going to start sharing my screen. I am using the Thinkorswim platform, so you're going to be able to see the live graphs. And I'm going to be making a video for those that don't have access to that and that are within the United States that have a social security number that can actually have access to this live platform, and it's completely free. So I think if you guys want me to make a video on that, on how you guys can utilize this, then let me know and I'll for sure make one for you. So let me go ahead and start sharing my screen, and then we'll go from there. All right. Alrighty, so this is the Thinkorswim platform right now. This is JNUG. This is one that I was watching. It's one that I just traded from lows of, it was 638 when I ended up buying it, and it was the support. I ended up holding there for quite a bit, enough for me to identify that as a support. I saw the big red candlestick when it broke below 640. I had my alert set, and I alerted you guys within the group chat. And I saw a wall of buyers at 637 and 638. So I knew realistically, based on where it's been trading, well, this history back here, it's been holding pretty well above, 630, 640, right? So I knew 638 wasn't necessarily a bad buy. So I decided to jump in, and I jumped in pretty heavy. I jumped in with $5,000, and again, this is with my TD Ameritrade account. So in no way is this part of the $1,000 challenge, and ended up hitting a resistance at 644, which is completely what I expected because of this previous resistance that we had right here. And then it broke right on through the 645 resistance, and it ended up hitting highs of, I believe it was 654. I was shooting for 660 because I knew realistically that that was a realistic resistance based on previous trends, as you guys could see right here, right? It usually peaks out at 660 and then comes back down. I missed out in the morning because I was still dealing with my restriction with the Robinhood account, and I was too focused on that. But then when I saw it drop below 640, I was like, okay, well, I at least need to jump into something. And then this is what I felt like, okay, now I feel like I'm chasing stocks, but or chasing my picks. So overall, I ended up focusing on my purchase price at 638. I was focusing on selling at 660, but I had a stop loss set at 650. So realistically, I knew I got in at a good buy point, especially after that pop right after 645, and I had a plan, right? I knew I was going to cut my losses anything lower than 2.5%, and I followed with a trailing stop every 5 cents it rose. So every time it broke, above 645, I put my stop loss at 640. Every time it broke above 50, I put my stop loss at 645, and I continued to do that as I continued to progressively increase, and I didn't remove my stop loss. And again, that's just something that I did to, in a sense, lock in my profits, right? And ended up hitting highs of nearly 655. It hit 654, and then started coming back down, and then I stop lossed out, locked in my profits. It was about like $96, $98 worth of profit, but then with my loss on DRYS, $90 worth of profit. So overall, again, not a great trade. And I really felt with when I jumped into DRYS, if you guys want to see when I jumped into that one, I jumped in when it was here at the support at 180. I was hoping that it would bounce the way it did here. So I thought my potential for profit was a lot larger than my potential for loss. And again, it was setting up a plan. So I wanted to jump in at 180, and then wanted to sell around 190. I thought of that as a realistic resistance. Let me know what you guys think, if that if you guys find that to be realistic. But I ended up breaking right below $1.80. So I cut my losses right below support because I knew 180 was a strong support. Ended up hitting lows of 172, and it's kind of just plateauing around the 176 to 177. So if it breaks above 180, I have my alert set, so maybe I can jump back into it if the momentum's right. But other than that, I'm not really looking at DRYS anymore. And this is what I was talking about. I shouted this one out during pre-market movers. I kept talking about, within the past couple of days, that realistically on how Snapchat has been playing out within, simply this 5-day period, a purchase price of around, 1980 is not bad, ideally, because, it's been holding well above 1980. It's not your 10% profit. That was very realistic. for growth within one day, but it definitely had margins of profit, especially if you wanted to hold something overnight. Snapchat necessarily wouldn't have been a bad choice. And for those that did end up holding overnight, even if you guys bought in at like anything lows up, 1980 yesterday, it did hit lows of 1970 today, and that was during pre-market hours. But the thing that I really want to focus on is this pop that it had. Right as it broke above this $20 resistance, ended up just shooting right through it. And that's what it literally happened a second after I sold. And right after I sold at $20, right here, ended up just spiking all the way through. And then that's when it hit about maybe 10 minutes later to highs of nearly 2090, which would have been 5 to 6% profit with this with Snapchat. And Snapchat is definitely not a paper stock. So overall, that was pretty much it. I saw that there was a wall of sellers at 2090, and then I was alerting you guys. And again, this is depth or level 2, whatever you guys want to call it, the buyers and then the sellers. And what I mean by a wall, if you guys see right now, there's a wall at 2033, meaning that people are just trying to sell at 2033. So for it to pass above 2033 is going to be somewhat difficult because there's only buyers at 2032. So unless there's a huge shift in volume, you're not really going to see it continue to rise. In reality, you're most likely going to see it drop. And what I mean by that is, let me get a little bit closer. But Snapchat actually dropped below 2020, and I got the alert for that. I was going to jump on in, but realistically, the potential for profit that it has and the price point that it's at right now, I think it's mainly in a downward trend. Let me know what you guys think. Again, you guys can let me know in the comments or within the TechBud Solutions group chat. But now from this peak, it's slowly staircasing down. So I really think it's either going to come back down to 20 and then maybe bounce, or continue to staircase down here to 1970. But I definitely don't think that this is one that has more margin of profit, at least within this day, to come back and boost on through this 2090 resistance that we have set. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my trades as of today. JDST, I tried to help you guys out as much as I can when it comes to, okay, JNUG hit its resistance, meaning that JDST hit its support. And I was like, all right, guys, time to take a look at JDST because now that's at a strong support. And a lot of you were able to make really good decisions and lock in, 2-3% profit consistently with the different trades that we were talking about within the group. And that's the whole point of this group. I want to make sure that you guys understand the whole point of this group is networking and sharing best practices. And although I can't truly benefit because of the restrictions that are on my account and I haven't been as active, I want to make sure that I do my part as, in a sense, a member within TechBud Solutions to do due diligence within the group and help out as many people that I can, answer as many questions and stuff like that. If you guys don't want to answer any questions, you guys definitely don't have to. But for those that have time or know the answer, then why not, right? And I do want to apologize. I really have felt distant from the people within the group these past couple of days because this $1,000 challenge is supposed to be something very exciting and it's supposed to build a relationship between me and you guys. But because of these restrictions that I've been encountering with my Robinhood account receiving that pattern day trading restriction, I've been focusing so much on getting that lifted that it's ruined the experience of day trading, which is usually extremely fun for me because I get to work with all of you guys. And because I can't do that these past couple of days, I felt like there's been this, like, in a sense, just gap of just communication between all of us. And I really do apologize. I really want to jump back into our, just what I want to say, trend of talking to one another the way that we do. And I want to do it as soon as possible. So hopefully we can get back into it as soon as tomorrow and actually start officially, me actively trading the $1,000 challenge with you guys, because I've been trading with my other accounts and in no way do those accounts just have the $1,000. So I want to jump onto it as soon as I can. And then just to end this video on a good note, I want to make sure that I answer some of your guys' questions. So feel free right now, if you guys have any specific questions or suggestions, to let me know, and I'll be answering them for about 2 minutes. So go ahead and let me know. For the meanwhile, since it is somewhat delayed, again, the link is provided for you down below if you guys want to be a part of TechBud Solutions, it is a free networking group, and you just click on the link. It takes you to our Facebook group. And then within that, you'll have access to our group chats. It's on the top pinned post. And then you have access to, utilizing every single member within the group to ask questions, to share your best practices and stuff like that. So let me see if any questions are coming in right now. Yeah, so Brian says, hope you get all your Robinhood pattern day trading stuff worked out. I really do hope, um, that gets worked out as soon as possible as well. Jake Reichs, says, you go into a cash account. I have a margin account as of now, and I really want to stick to that because realistically, a majority of our members within TechBit Solutions have a margin account. And I think to be the most realistic for the members within our group, I have to have a margin account to, in a sense, overcome those obstacles that you encounter when you're using a margin account and encountering those pattern day trading restrictions. But that's a really good question. Says, what is Yu-hun Kim says, is it free? Yes, TechBit Solutions is a free networking group. Okay, so why are not all stocks on Robinhood? For example, KOSK, just to name one, are not on Robinhood. There's a series of stocks that are not on Robinhood, and if they're not traded under NASDAQ or any of the big three exchanges, then they're not, if they're like getting delisted or anything like that, and they're not meeting NASDAQ requirements, they won't show up under Robinhood, just because for that specific brokerage company, it might be viewed as too risky. Ricky Ricardo says, are you running for president in 2020? I am not. I don't know. I don't know why you would ask that, but so Marino says, I saw that you're using Thinkorswim. Would you recommend it? Would you recommend TD Ameritrade? I definitely would. Again, it's free. You don't have to fund your account. You can subscribe to real-time, quotes. And now even on my MacBook, that was the biggest obstacle. I reached out to the technical support department for TD Ameritrade, and they helped me properly install this platform on my MacBook. And actually my buddy Barry, who I met with yesterday, showed me that he had it on his MacBook, and that's why I actually reached out to them to get this all situated. So it's amazing. It's, you can see depth 2 or level 2, whatever it is that you want to call it, and use all these different indicators to get a better judgment. If you're getting in at a good buy and at a good sell. RSI is definitely one that I'm going to be talking about. That's a very important indicator. But yeah, I definitely recommend it if you have the chance to. Would you go to school for economics? Would going to school for economics be a good career choice if you wanted to make trading my main source of income? And this is and I'm sorry, I can't really pronounce your username, but I know you know who you are. I definitely think, like business and economics and finance, that's what runs really, in a sense, our economy, right? And understanding how our economy is doing can give you a better understanding, or in a sense, just a better judgment on what to invest in. And I think the more you know, the better that you'll do. So not only will you become a better day trader, but you can have a normal 9-to-5 job, which in no way is a bad thing, to have your stable income. And because you're so knowledgeable and because you're so well educated in the economy, in the economy, not only will you be making whatever it is that they make, they can make $80,000 to $100,000 a year, which is realistically, an amazing, income, and that's your stable income. And now you could make, just depending on how much you invest, another $200,000 a year with your day trading, with knowing how to invest in real estate, knowing how to invest altogether. There's really no cap on what you can make when you understand how to invest. And that's definitely the thing. I mean, having a realistic income and having stable income is something that I want to make sure that no one gets discouraged. That's definitely something that I recommend, especially when starting out. But if you have the opportunity or the blessing to move from that and create an extra source of income, which can then overtake that original stable income, and you no longer need it, then so be it. But you need to be realistic, and you need to understand that you need money to make money. And educating yourself on money, really finance, economy, economics, and business is definitely something that I think can lead to your success. It's for those that work hard that will be successful. So if you're, anyone can become can work towards being a doctor, but if you don't work hard towards it, or you're not a very credible doctor, then you won't be very successful, right? The same thing comes to anything that you study. It depends on how hard you study and how serious you take it. And then, people and customers will see that and identify that and see the value in that. All right. And all right, that's gonna be pretty much it because I think I'm making this video a lot longer than it has to be. You guys have access to me again. Everything that I'm giving you with my links and stuff like that, you guys have access to my social media. The link is provided for you down below for my Instagram account. You guys can DM me, and I'll try to answer your questions as soon as possible. I do want to ask you guys that because of this $1,000 challenge, a lot of you guys have been tagging me on your Instagram, posting, your gains. If you guys want to tag me again, my Instagram name is posted down below. Feel free to tag me or use the hashtag, $1,000 challenge. And I'd love to, in a sense, share that with the group because I want to make sure that you guys are recognized for your hard work. So overall, I can't thank you guys enough for the support. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and reach out to me any way that you guys can, through TechBuds, through the group chat, through Instagram. And I'd love to talk to you guys throughout the day, since I'm just going to really be working on homework and stuff like that. I'm going to be hanging out with my girlfriend since today is kind of our day. But overall, I can't thank you guys enough. If you guys can like and subscribe, we'd greatly appreciate it. We're just a little shy of 10,000 subscribers. And again, that in no way can truly identify, how grateful I am for all the support that you guys have given me. So I hope you guys have an amazing day, and let's make sure that we end the week on a green note. Take care, guys.